Hello, I'm Edouard Demeire, speaker at CELFORPHARMA on commercial subjects. Pharma marketing has undergone a paradigm shift in the last decade. It has moved from obtaining clinical data, translating that into visuals, which were then used by the sales force to convince the HCPs, to a mindset that the whole cross-functional team needs to embed inside their operations. Take, for example, R&D. How effective could R&D be were they not to have insights from patient flows, patient journeys, beyond epidemiology data? If they would not have competitive foresight, if they would not understand stakeholder needs of new stakeholders such as pathologists, payers, etc. On the medical front, it's key that medical understands the various KOL networks, that they develop some stakeholder mapping activities to be able to address the right stakeholders in their activities. And how can data generation activities, data dissemination activities impact stakeholder decision making? They increasingly start to look at the value that these offerings are making to the society by putting some performance indicators such as stakeholder satisfaction of, for example, continuous medical education. And finally, when we're looking at HCP collaboration, for example, in the context of real-world data, medical also needs to understand how to address each of these stakeholders. Even sales and key account management needs to be extremely market-led. Sales used to really focus on visit frequency coverage, and now they much more need to focus on optimizing the customer experience integrated with all sorts of new channels to the various stakeholders. Key account management in some pharma companies has historically been how we manage tender processes, and that is still the case. But key account management needs to go beyond that to understand all the different stakeholders and how we can, as a pharma company, add value to each of the different stakeholders. Market research also needs to be market-led. It needs to evolve from data warehousing of IMS sales data towards generating stakeholder insights. It needs to evolve from gathering competitive intelligence on activities such as trials they had in the past or how many sales reps the competition had in the past towards demand-driven competitive intelligence activities. Finance have historically been very much financial ratio thinkers, benchmarking good product, good affiliate, bad affiliate, etc. They need to become market-led in evaluating and helping the teams evaluate the various scenarios, profitability, risk, etc., etc. They need to help in assessing the commercial effectiveness. And finally also, we're moving towards concepts such as lifetime customer value, which finance needs to also embed in the pharmaceutical industry. The last function I wanted to address here is market access. Is market access a factory which is producing slides, presentations, publications on ICER and QALY, etc., disregarding the way the healthcare system works? Or does market access have an in-depth understanding of the various stakeholders, whether they're national stakeholders, whether they're subnational stakeholders, whether they are account-based stakeholders like a hospital pharmacist, for example? What are their perceptions? What are their needs? How are they being evaluated? This is a crucial part of developing market-led access. Now, what's important is to make sure that our whole cross-functional team has some of the basics of the marketing thinking in mind so they can really contribute to making their cross-functional teams more market-led. And I see more and more companies that are training their executives in the basics of marketing, going away from that model where marketing is a function between the clinical trial and the sales rep, where marketing becomes more of a mindset that the whole cross-functional team has.